Nagulat lang po ako na sa lahat ng pwedeng maging reaction ni Senator Tito, sabi niya it's illegal. All the majority has to do is for the chairperson, Senator Pia Cayetano, to come out herself with the notice on Monday. So, ang point ko, sa lahat ng pwedeng reaction, bakit parang ayaw talaga na ituloy ito? No? So again,
Hindi parang Seni, ay SP eh. Ayaw talaga nilang ituloy. Allergic sila dyan sa Blue Ribbon na yan. Ang tanong ho dito, bakit gigil na gigil itong si Tuta Soto at itong si Ping Lacson Boytago sa pagpigil ng napipintong hearing ng Blue Ribbon Committee sa June 4? Yan ho ang napakalaking katanungan dyan. Kasi lagi ho natin naririnig ito pagka merong investigasyon sa Senado at House of Representatives. Kung wala naman kayong itinatago, bakit nyo pinipigilan ang pagsasagawa ng hearing ng Blue Ribbon Committee? Kasi ho, hindi naman lingid sa kaalaman ng ating mga kasama dito sa PH Update. Pagkatapos yung nagsalita nitong si Senator Alan Peter Cayetano kahapon at inanunsyo niya na gagawa ng subcommittee para mag-focus dyan sa investigasyon ng mga maanomalyang flood control project, eh bigla hong nag-react itong si Tuta Soto. Keso illegal na naman daw ho. Pambihira, wala nang ginawang legal. Itong majority, puro na lang illegal. Ano, abogado si SP Alan. Alam niya yung legal at illegal at hindi niya gagawin yung illegal. Ang problema dito kay Soto, bakit takot na takot kayo? Ano bang meron dito sa hearing na to? Diba si Chavit, 18 Marin, Gotesa, Zaldico, ang daming gustong magsalita. Para once and for all, matapos na tong problema na to, na pabalik-balik, hindi tayo makamove on. Sambayan ng Pilipino gusto na mag-move on. Ang dami nating problema. Pero hindi tayo makamove on kasi baka yung mga nagnakaw dito sa mga maanomalyang flood control project, eh nagnanakaw pa rin mapahanggang sa ngayong mga panahon na to. Nakuha niyo ba mga kababayan? Yaan ang nasa isip ng ating mga kababayan ngayong mga panahon na to. Paano na lang? Kung yung mga magnanakaw dito sa mga maanomalyang flood control project, eh mapahanggang sa ngayong mga panahon na to, eh pinagdidiskitahan pa rin ang pera ng sambayan ng Pilipino. Siyang like at siyang subscribe, masaya na ho tayo dyan at sa mga gusto sumali sa ating community, yung join button nandyan lang ho sa baba. Heto na nga, bago ho tayo mapasarap ang ating usapan, meron lang ho akong gustong ipakita sa inyo mga kababayan. At sa mga hindi pa ho nakakaalam, positive 29 lang naman ho ang net satisfaction rating nitong si BP Sara. Alit na bagay. Palakpakan ho natin si BP Sara. Habang si Marcos Jr. negative 15 ang kanyang trust at approval rating, ha? Itong si BP Sara, positive 29. Partida, siya pa ho ang ini-impeach ngayong mga panahon na to. Yung mahiya naman kayo statement, negative 15. Isipin nyo na lang ho mga kababayan. Hayaan nyo muna mag-sink in sa mga utak ng ating mga kababayan yung senaryo na yon. Habang itong si Marcos Jr., merong mahiya naman kayo statement nung nagdaan niyang SONA, negative 15 ang kanyang net satisfaction rating. Itong si BP Sara, walang humpay. Mula January hanggang December, ang panggigiba sa kanya, paninira, mga gawa-gawang akusasyon, aligasyon, sa COA, sa AMLA, kung ano-anong kabuktutan. Diba? Ayan ho ang kanyang net satisfaction rating. Positive 29. Huwag nyo naman sabihin na hindi pa yan. Diba? Yang na yan, yung net satisfaction rating na yan, ngayon lang March yan. Diba? Kasagsagan yan ng amla-amla nitong si Baculaw, diba? Nitong si Luistro. Yan hong sinasabi natin dito. Ang ginagawa nila kay BP Sara, hindi pinaniniwalaan na sambayan ng Pilipino. Kaya naman, magpunta na ho tayo dito sa ating Senate President Alan Peter Cayetano. Kailangan hong marinig ng ating mga kababayan kung anong sasabihin itong si SP Alan, diba? Ito kasi hindi nakabatay sa kung kanino mang naratibo kay dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte. Hindi. Pag napanagot natin yung mga nagnakaw sa mga maanomalyang flood control project, napapauwi natin si Tatay Digong. Hindi. Di ba? Tataas ba ang approval at trust rating nitong si BP Sara pag napanagot natin yung mga nagnakaw sa mga maanomalyang flood control? Hindi. Diba, hindi naman si BP Sara direktang magbebenepisyo kung sakaling mapanagot natin itong mga magnanakaw na to. Sambayan ng Pilipino. Makakapag-move on na tayo at yung mga mastermind, hindi hindi na nila magagawa ito dito sa administrasyon na to kasi base sa ating nakikita, meron silang gustong ma-reach na target sa ating revenue para magalaw na naman, maponduhan na naman nila yung mga unprogrammed appropriation. Pag naponduhan nila yung mga unprogrammed appropriation, anak ng Petrang Garapata, wala na ho. Ika nga, GG na naman ho ang sambayan ng Pilipino. Good game na naman ho tayo. Tapos na naman ho. Eto, rekta ho tayo dito kay SP Cayetano. Suportahan ho natin. Ipagdasal ho natin ang ating mga magigiting na senador na pinaglalaban ang kapakanan ng mga ordinaryong Pilipino. Panoorin ho natin ito mga kababayan.
Praise God, Saturday, weekend. Alam ko maraming nagdi-deep breath. Kami maraming trabaho. And I think bilang mga nagmamalasakit sa ating bansa, bilang mga Pilipino, you deserve to know not only what is happening, you deserve to know why, and you deserve to know the inside stories. So allow me a few minutes to try to directly explain to you, the people, what is happening in our country, what is happening in our Senate, and dahil inside story, what's happening in our minds and hearts. So magandang hapon sa akin Facebook friends, family. Mga kasama natin sa media. Let me start first with this verse. No? I love this verse kasi it deals with two words that are very, very powerful. It deals with faith and hope. Sabi po sa Hebrews 11:1, faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. Ulitin ko po, nasa Hebrews 11:1. Of course, if you have time to tell Sunday then tomorrow, I'm addressing myself to fellow Christians, basahin nyo yung buong chapter. No? But sabi, faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. So I want to talk about two words, no? Faith. Nakarinig po ako ng napakalungkot na statement. Sabi, ang Pilipinas po nagiging mas mahirap mahalin. No? So, just like Charles de Gaulle, sabi ni Charles de Gaulle, actually hindi niya sinabi to, pero it's attributed to him because of his many statements. Sabi niya kasi, I love France, but he said something about the French people. Di ba? Parang madaling mahalin ang France, pero hindi madaling mahalin ang French people. Former President PRRD always said na friends niya ang mga Amerikano. But the American government is different. So, the way I take it, dun sa mga nagsasabing mahirap mahalin ng Pilipinas, I think hindi nagbabago. Lalong lumalalim ang pag-ibig sa ating bansa. Naguguluhan lang sa ating leaders at politicians. But again, there's a difference between magulo at ginugulo. At meron pong difference na maganda takbo, wag mong guluhin.
Wala na ho akong segue dito ha. Wala na ho akong segue dito. Si SP Cayetano na lang ho. Siguro ko pagkagigil na lang tayo, no? Pero sa bagay, di naman ho tayo manggigigil dyan kasi SP Cayetano nagsasalita eh. Pag ituloy lang ho natin.
And malaki po yung difference that
wala na segue.
Sobra ang corruption, sobra ang poverty, sobra ang takipan, walang reform, walang change, mali yung values. You have to disrupt yan. Disrupt not in the sense na guluhin lahat, but guluhin mo yung momentum ng corruption, ng kasamaan, para nga magkaroon ng repentance, magkaroon ng restoration, magkaroon ng revival, or magkaroon ng pagbabago. So, it is my hope that a spark of hope appeared in May 11. Why? No problem yung takbo ng Senado pagka normal times. But alam po natin that there is a world crisis because of Iran, Israel, US war. We knew that in 2022, nung nagkaroon ng Russian-Ukrainian conflict, apektado din tayo. We know that our being in between the rivalry of China and US also has an effect on us. We also know that the flood control scam, the infrastructure, was so big, is so big, that no one imagined na may ghost projects. But until now, the facts have not all been laid out, no? And a clear reform, a clear change is not upon us. So we have to accept the reality that there are those in the Senate who are comfortable at ang utak lang ay yung impeachment, which is a good accountability mechanism. But it's not the be-all, end-all, because the flood control scam and other corruption, including agricultural smuggling, including, I recognize the changes being done in the BRR and customs, diba? But the everyday corruptions that hurt people, diba? That's why yesterday, sabi ko, we have to look at the real numbers, no? We keep looking at 11, 13,
11,
12,
13.
11. Sabi ko nga, solid yung 13, hindi magpapa-11. So, kailangan natin makita yung real numbers, saka natin balikan bakit ang tingin namin yung 11 ay nango-11. So, what's the real numbers? 7%. May nagsasabing almost 8% sa pinakamahihirap. That means sa 100 pesos mo, 7 pesos napupunta lang sa inflation. So, yung dating mabibili mo for 100 pesos, yung pera mo 93 pesos na lang. For the millionaires and billionaires, it is a problem but not that big a problem. But for those who ang daily wage is less than 700 pesos, first of all, usually ang trabaho computed a little bit over 20 days. Pero 30 days mo na. Sabihin mo na minimum wage every day, 21,000. Magkano pamasahe? Magkano renta? Magkano kuryente? Magkano pagkain? Pag kinumpute mo yun, sakop na yung 21,000. So, bawal magkasakit, bawal na magkaroon ng sapatos or gamit pang pasukan yung anak mo, bawal na magkaroon ng weekend man lang na makakain man lang ang pamilya together, bawal manood ng sine. So, these are the numbers that really strike at the heart of the everyday life ng Pilipino. Magkano na po ang bigas ngayon? So, sa Pilipino po, marami kang pwedeng tipirin, pero syempre, hahanap at hahanap tayo ng kanin. And if you look at the numbers deeper, the poorest of the poor, di ba, noodles na nga lang yung hinahati-hati. Minsan, isang pamilya ng 5, hahati-hatiin yung noodles because nga, even the minimum wage is a luxury. So if you look at the numbers, isama mo na yung unemployed at underemployed, almost 9 million yon. Tapos 10 million Filipinos abroad. Ngayon, yung iba sa Middle East nagkakaproblema kung hindi man sa remittances, sa trabaho nila, sa kita nila. So, good for some OFWs na mataas ang dollar. Pero sa marami na nag-i-import at sa atin mga consumer, napakataas po ng itataas ng presyo ng bilihin kung hindi po makakahabol ang peso sa value ng dollar. So, we'll have a separate talk about the numbers, but I want to emphasize sa ating pong first speech as Senate President, yung bigger picture, sinabi ko nga po, di ba, na napaka-importante po yung spiritual, economic, socio-economic well-being ng isang bansa, financial well-being ng isang bansa. Hindi lang po politika. Nakatuon kasi po tayo sa politika, which is important. Good governance is important. Accountability is important. But economics, health, education, the soul of the nation, values, this is very important. So going to the numbers.
Teka lang ha, birthday pala ni VP Sara ngayon, nakalimutan natin. Birthday nitong si, segue lang ako. Happy birthday, VP Sara, ha? Maligayang kaarawan. Palakpakan natin. Wala akong picture niya eh. Yan lang meron ako. Pasensya na ko kayo. Yabang mo naman PH. Porket hindi negative 15 yan. Porket positive 29 yan at satisfaction rating ni VP Sara. Yabang-yabang mo na. Ginigrit mo siya na. Hindi, birthday naman talaga niya. Happy birthday, VP. Pakishare ng video. Sana makarating kay VP na taus-puso ho nating binabati ng maligayang kaarawan ng ating susunod na Pangulo ng Bansang Pilipinas, Vice President Sara Duterte.
Let's clarify some things about rules, no? Sa rules muna mismo ng Senate, nakalagay doon, simple majority can amend. Again, i-emphasize ko kasi binabaliktad ng ating kaibigan ni Senator Lacson. Sabi niya, okay lang pag-usapan yung rules, wag lang i-railroad. Wala pong railroading. Ang sinasabi po kasi niya, nasa committee yung rules. Ang plenary po, or yung plenaryo, ay mas powerful sa committees. Ang mga committees, parang bowl po yan. Pwede mo ilagay dyan, tapos i-process sa bowl, or pwede mong tanggalin, ilipat sa bowl, or dalhin sa plenary. Ang rule po ng Senate, hindi po kailangan dumaan ng katulad po ng pinagdadaanan ng bills. Kasi ang bills po nasa Constitution may first, second, third reading. So we were not violating any rule, and in fact, May 11 pa nag-start yan. So sa nagsasabing nagmamadali kami, May 11 pa yan eh. So sabi lang, Monday na lang. Bakit? Kasi po, iilan lang sila nandun during that Tuesday night. But the point is, we were ready to defend and talk about the proposal. Ang dami na po lumabas na hindi totoo. For example, for any reason, pwede mag-online. Hindi po. Ang nakalagay po dun sa proposal, justifiable reason. And the Senate President still has to consult the Majority Leader and Minority Leader case per case basis. So hindi po to blanket na anytime for any reason
Pwede
ka na mag-online. O sabi pangalawa, pandemic lang kasi to bringing up. Hindi po. Panahon pa ni Senator Trillanes kay Senator De Lima, bringing up na po to. Yung ibang nag-criticize po ngayon, tingnan niyo po yung mismong sinulat nila at reasons nila. They were arguing from the point of view of representation. So representation is very important now. Why? Because it's all about control. But before I talk about control, Senator Pia reminded me na binabasa niya ang dami na lumabas about participation sa impeachment through online. Wala pong katotohanan na yung amendment ng rule na to ay nakaugnay sa amendment sa rule sa impeachment. Bakit po? Una-una, inadapt na po namin yung rule sa impeachment. Pag binago namin yun, they papublish pa, tatagal pa po yun.
So hindi to hindi siya para sa impeachment. So yung kasinungalingan na naman ng ibang mga senador na nagsasalita kaugnay dito, fake news na naman sila pambihira talaga tong mga to. Oo.
So, ngayon po ang pinag-uusapan ay rule sa Senado. Wala pong katotohanan yung mga nagpo-post na nagsasabing eto po ay may kinalaman sa impeachment. Why is control important? Because the chairman schedules the hearing. So meaning, kung mababalik sa kanila, iske-schedule ba nila yung flood control hearing? Kung iske-schedule nila, kontrolado din po ng majority at ng chairman sino ang iimbitahin. Kontrolado din kung once a week, once a month. Dati po, wala naman yung partial report eh. Kaya nga, paulit-ulit ko sinasabi, ang kailangan impartial, not partial. And paano ka maglalabas ng partial na hindi mo pa nabubuo yung theory kung ano talaga nangyari? Tignan niyo po, sabi ng Office of the Ombudsman, may mastermind. Sabi ni Senator Lacson, walang mastermind.
Walang mastermind.
So paano
Pambihira talaga. Doon pa lang nagbabangga na, di ba?
ka maglalabas ng report na partial pa lang? And then, paano nangyari yon na panay oposisyon, na panay sa Senado? 1 trillion budget, sa administrasyon, walang involved dito. Sa ibang mga panig ng gobyerno, walang involved pa dito. So, I'm not going to go into the details precisely because gusto natin independent at gusto natin yung committee ang magpatakbo. Nagulat lang po ako na sa lahat ng pwedeng maging reaction ni Senator Tito, sabi niya it's illegal. Papasalamat ako sa mga matitinik natin mga netizens na una pa kayo na tinignan yung Section 18 ng rules ng Senate at yung Section 20 ng rules on investigations in aid of legislation. But assume natin tama si former Senate President Soto at bawal mag-create ng subcommittee. Hindi po bawal nasa rules po yan. But sabi mo, then all the majority has to do is for the chairperson, Senator Pia Cayetano, to come out herself with the notice on Monday. So, ang point ko, sa lahat ng pwedeng reaksyon, bakit parang ayaw talaga na ituloy ito? No? So again,
hindi parang SP ayaw talaga nilang ituloy. Allergic sila dyan sa blue ribbon na yan. allergic sila na mapatawag yung 18 Marine, allergic sila na mapaharap si Saldico, meron na daw apostille na ano yan na sworn affidavit, di ba? O allergic ho sila diyan. Ngayon bakit kayo allergic? 'Di ba? Kung malinis naman pala yung mahiya naman kayo na statement ni Marcos Jr. Wala naman pala siyang kasalanan. Dapat confident kayo na ayaw nyo, mag-imbestiga sila diyan. Diyan sa gayong paraan talagang maabsuelto ang Diyos natin na si Marcos Jr. Kasi gino-Diyoso nila eh. Yang si Tutas Hotot nitong Ping Lacson at yung si Midzubiri, yung magkapatid na tulpo, di gino-Diyoso nila itong si Marcos Jr. Di ko alam ba't takot na takot sila kay Marcos Jr. Meron bang pinanghahawakan si Marcos Jr. sa inyo na pag nagkamali kayo pwede niyang ilabas yun? Meron bang naka-record na maleta na, di ba? Hindi ko natin alam. Ano ba yan? Ano bang kinakatakot nyo na yan? Dapat na magkaalaman kaya kailangan nang ituloy ang investigasyon na yan.
We're not here para manggulo. Kami ang ginugulo. We're not here para dagdagan pa ang problema ng Pilipino. We're here para yung hindi maayos, ayusin.
Correct.
So until we have true repentance and true reforms, corruption will continue at the highest levels. I was sad because I've been saying this for 3 weeks. I've been saying independent investigation because I do believe the president is being given wrong information. So nung sinabi niya yung barilan, paulit-ulit sinasabi ng NBI at DOJ, wala sa Senate. We have evidence, so mapipilitan kami na i-hearing din yan. So the Committee on Public Order will hear, will get to the bottom of this, will bring the NBI, the DOJ, PNP, DILG, lahat ng nag-iimbestiga, sabay-sabay na kami iimbestigahan lahat, no? So I want you to understand that the rule about voting is tied to the control. So totoo, 13 ang kailangan para mapalitan ng SP. Pero ang magpapatawag po ng hearings ay yung chairperson. So isang strategy po ngayon ng 11, kaya napansin niyo po every weekend, sila ang gumagawa ng sinasabi nila, may babaliktad, may sasama na sa kanila, may nag-iisip. Alam niyo po, ang kudeta, ang isang essential element po dyan ay stealth o kaya yung tahimik, ibubulaga ka, magugulat ka. Di ba? So bakit sila maingay about it? One is to try to create distrust among the 13.
Di ba merong diyan kasabihan sa Senado, pagka merong alingas-ngas ng kudeta, malamang sa malamang hindi matutuloy yan. Di ba? Kaya yung alingas-ngas rin ng kudeta, sigurado na ho yan, hindi matutuloy yan mga kababayan.
Secondly is to create pressure. And number 3, bakit nila predict? May huhulihin dyan, may arrestuhin, ganyan. Okay. Because may mga kakampi sila sa kabinete. That's very clear, no? So my point is this, no? One of their intent is to not allow the electronic or teleconferencing or any kind of online voting para pag sila majority sa floor, aagawin nila yung mga committee. At pag naagaw yung mga committee, sila na naman magdidikta ngayon kung anong pwede i-hearing o hindi. Nakita nyo po na inaalok namin ng committee, they can read their members anytime. So nagugulat lang ako kay, let's say kay Senator Erwin, paulit-ulit na wala daw napasa during my time and mabagal, etc. Pero nandiyan na yung mga malalaking committee, hindi sila nagpapalista as members. Dati nag-uunahan pa. So, I'll try not to make as much comments regarding the senators because I do believe when you're Senate President the whole Senate. I can make a list para kontrahin yung sinabi ni Senator Lacson of bending backwards. Sila bending the law, bending the rules. Ako bending backwards. Lahat ng request nila, hindi ko na isa-isahin. Basta't kaya, ginagawa. Sa impeachment po, consensus. I did not dictate anything and maayos na lahat yan. So again, I want to emphasize the priorities of this majority. No? One is the soul of the nation. So good governance. Okay? Kasama po dun sa good governance, hindi lang yung accountability, which is the committee hearings and the impeachment. Kasama din po dyan yung mga legislation that goes into the real numbers o yung economics para hindi gutom ang ating mga kababayan, para walang temptation for crimes and for corruption, di ba? So, kasama sa good governance, accountability, Blue Ribbon, kasama din po dyan yung impeachment, no? Then, as I said, kasama din po dyan yung real numbers. So, many other things will come up. There are administrative things. But as you see, no? Sabi nga nila, no, they're throwing everything, including the kitchen sink at you. No, they throw even the kitchen. Tinatapon na.
Buong kitchen na hon, tinatapos.
Sa amin. Anything they can think of, kaso daw. So guys, what can you do? One, pray for us. Pray for the nation. Two, tutukan.
Kailangan na nila.
Res ipsa loquitur. The thing speaks for itself. Read between the lines. Anyone can speak. Pero tignan nyo kung sino nagsasabi ng totoo. So let me stop there and ask for prayers, for reflections, for insights during this weekend. Hopefully, both sides will have their numbers in full force Monday. But yun nga, tuloy kasi yung takutan at yung sinasabing maaresto na and then kung sino-sino ninaname nila na babaliktad. What's happening in the Senate, lahat tayo may stake dyan. Ang ating, pati yung hindi pa botante, all Filipinos have a stake there because we all came together under different constitutions saying that check and balance and an independent legislature is good for the nation. Because in the past, pag na-concentrate ang lahat ng power sa isang opisina o tao, abuse ang nangyayari.
Abuso yan, sigurado.
Separate ang House at Senate, separate ang judiciary, separate po ang executive. Nagkaroon ng flood control scam. Nagkaroon ng kung ano nung smuggling. Nagkaroon ng yung problema sa BIR, di ba? In the first few years, yung kung ano-anong nabuko ng mga kalokohan. So, it's ongoing in every level of government, from the barangay until the national government. So, if power is going to be concentrated just in the executive, kawawa naman tayo. I don't think the president wants this. And I continue to extend a hand of working together professionally. But I really think he's not getting the right information. So, I do hope that the senior officials in the cabinet.
Grabe tong si SP Cayetano. No, siguro SP, hindi naman sa pag-aano ako kung sangayon naman ako dun sa sinabi mo. Gusto mo kasi ikaw kasi nasa diplomasya ka eh. Ika nga talagang pakikipagtulungan. Kailangan naman ho talaga yan. Pero dun sa realidad, kailangan nating kausapin si Senator Amy Marcos kung ano nga ba ang estado ng kaisipan ng ating Pangulong Bongbong Marcos. Ayun na nga mga kababayan, maraming salamat SP Cayetano sa paghahatid ng insider information kung ano nangyayari sa Senado. Kailangan ho natin yan ngayong mga panahon na to. Kasi kung tayo lang, hindi naman ho natin trabaho mag-imbento ng fake news dito. Nangyaring ganito, nangyaring ganyan, di ba? O ganito na si ganito, hindi ho. Kailangan ho natin sumagguni sa mga nasa loob at ang isa dyan si SP Cayetano. Kaya tayo ho'y nakabantay sa mga development sa Senado. Kung ano mangyayari, yan ho ang pinaka-latest. No? Talagang merong takutan. Si Sen Jinggoy wala na. Tapos na yun sa kanya. Tanggalin na nila sa equation itong si Sen Jinggoy. Yun namang susunod. Grabe, mahiya naman kayo kay Senator Jinggoy Estrada. Dito kay Senator Bato de la Rosa. Kung kayo ibibigay sa panggigipit ng administrasyon na to, mahiya naman kayo doon sa dalawa na yun. Yung isa ka, nag-post na ng bill, di ba? Ano na kayo, magpakatatag at tuloy-tuloy lang. Wag nating hayaang itong bangag administrasyon na to mamayagpag. Dahil pag nagkataon, tuloy-tuloy ho ang mangyayaring nakawan dito sa bansa na to. Yan ho ang aking sinisigurado. Rumekta ho tayo sa dito sa pilot episode ng Small Talk with Attorney Ferdito Pasio. Ang guest ata nila dito si Attorney Trixie Cruz Angeles. Panoorin mo na ito mga kababayan.
To have a very big name for our pilot episode. At since lady yung ating guest, at ikaw ay lady rin, sabi nga ng mga French, Après-vous, madam. Ikaw nang unang mag-shoot ng first question.
Hi, I just want to say that you look very beautiful today.
Wow, thank you.
So my first question is, You were among the early political content creators online before political blogging became mainstream. Did you realize at the same time that digital media would become this powerful?
Para namang ano siya. Para namang Q&A sa beauty pageant ang atake nitong siya. Ito yung ito yung panira doon sa press con nung isang araw doon sa isang video na itong babae na to panira ba't nandiyan ka na naman nating? Hindi, pero ano yan, katandem nitong si Atty. Ferdy Topacio kaya kailangan natin palakpakan yan. Yung mga nakatabi kay Atty. Ferdy talagang magaganda. Ika nga, di ba?
No, actually. Most of the... No.
Very candid siya. No?
Hindi talaga. Kasi actually what we were using Facebook for, if you remember, were personal thoughts, yung mga... pinasimuno namin yung mga status messages that you would use. You would actually use status messages for other messaging. Halimbawa, dati, eating, sleeping, usually ganon. Tapos mamaya meron ka ng, when we were doing it, pinasok namin yung iba-ibang elements. Like, you would give a status message that, like, using profound sayings, or you would say something na out of the blue, like, eating at such and such restaurant, the food is terrible, or something like that. Or give some dimension about your character, yung mga tipong, I'd rather be asleep. Or maybe I am sleepwalking through life, mga ganon. And then, actually, it was just really for fun when we started. And then things started getting serious because there were serious...
When was this? Nung medyo
2009.
pumutok na siya?
2009, we started it. And then it became a little more political as things went along. At the time, kasi I was representing, if you remember this,
Yes,
mutineers. So we were, I was often in
Sina,
courts
yung mga
martial.
so-called rebel soldiers yan, di ba?
Yes.
Oo.
So everyone from Oakwood, Manila Pen, Fort Bonifacio.
Kasama ko si Trillanes dyan.
I was never his lawyer.
Curious lang ako. Kasi,
But I just want to make that very clear na hindi ako yung lawyer niya. So I represented a lot of Marine officers. And then of course, then Captain Faldon, later on Commissioner ng Customs.
Yes.
Sino po ba? NFA Administrator Jason Aquino
Yes,
was a
Jason.
major at the time. Danny Lim, General Miranda, Colonel Segumalyan, all of these, they were big names at the time in the
the
military.
usual suspects.
Totoo yan. So, but even in history, later on, lilitaw talaga yung mga pangalan na yun.
So, you pioneer ka ng social media, no? So, I remember very well na when you were press secretary, you made the proposal na aside from yung legacy or mainstream media na tinatawag, you wanted to accredit vloggers.
Yes.
And it was met with some vehement opposition from NUJP, yung mga mainstream. Anong tingin mo at the time? Was it because of professional jealousy or medyo may pagka-elitista, may pagka-suplado yung mga mainstream media?
Well, the elitism, I think I understand why. Because many of them either have had long careers in journalism, tapos meron silang staff. On that issue, I understand. However, the world is changing. And even in 2022, we already realized that. The White House accredits vloggers.
Yes,
Diba?
definitely.
The whole world has recognized vloggers. Kumbaga, without the backing of a major network, you should still be able to access primary sources of information. Sino bang nagsasabi na kailangan journalist ka?
Kaya nga may accreditation if standards are what they are
We can
worried
impose,
about.
yes.
Kaya nga may accreditation. Di naman,
Correct.
bubuksan namin yung pinto. Lahat kayo papasok, di ba, Ina?
Yes. So, and there would also be expectations dun sa mga vloggers, how they conduct themselves, and of course, constant scrutiny din yung kanilang mga vlogs.
Correct.
I think this was one of the most controversial decisions that I had made.
I
but
suppose, yes.
it did have the backing of the president.
Yun naman pala eh. Bakit, whatever happened to that?
I suppose there were different priorities when I left.
Okay.
So,
Okay, so Attorney Trixie, you mentioned that you've experienced both mainstream media and digital media. Where do you think public trust is heading?
well, I think it's for both. There's room kasi for both. The internet is so kumbaga, ang laki ng mundo. I don't think that we can just say that one aspect or the other will have trust. What I can see is that social media is rapidly gaining trust, credibility, and reliability. So wala na tayo. We can't say that mainstream media has the, what do you call this, the monopoly
Yes, oo.
on truth, or at least on reportage. If you can witness, di ba ano yung definition ng witness sa batas? You can see, you can use your
You
senses.
hear, you see, you touch,
to
diba, you
appreciate,
feel. Oo.
yes, an event. Who says that vloggers cannot do the same thing? Of course, mas cutthroat pa nga yung
Oo,
mundo ng
actually, yes,
vloggers, di
actually,
ba?
oo.
You can't really say. You have people who simply post about their day and they have millions of followers. And then you have some people who are very intelligent and they have only a few 100,000 followers. So, what's good about it is that you can see, you can gauge also your audience. You know how effective you are based on it. There's immediate feedback. But when traditional media started, wala silang ganon. Paano yung feedback nila? Number of newspapers sold.
Letters to the editor, noon, naabutan ko yan
Viewership sa television was a little harder. You'd had to conduct surveys. Pero dito sa social media, it's immediate. Plus,
Real time, ano?
and
Kita mo yung ilang
interactive.
eyeballs, ano?
Correct.
2,000, 3,000, minsan 300,000 na agad.
plus with everybody having a cell phone, everybody can be a reporter. Or at least they can send you videos. They have first-hand information. So social media rewrote how we receive as well as how we appreciate our information.
Yes, and I believe that is where mainstream media gets its insecurity, ano? Parang napag-iiwanan na sila. Anyway, you said that that proposal was met with a lot of controversy. Anyway,
Yes.
so...
Mostly from one side.
of course, being press secretary was not your first rodeo, so to speak, sa government. Diba, you were
Yes.
director. Pero ibang level, siyempre, yung secretary, ano? So, my question to you would be, when you became secretary, what surprised you most about being at that level of our government?
Well, before becoming social media, not really director, consultant actually, before that, I was NCCA commissioner. So that's the rank of undersecretary. So I know how government works, pero iba lang talaga pag culture and arts. It's like a different world. But becoming press secretary, I realized that most decisions in government don't necessarily involve study, advice, consultations. Meron palang decisions na na habang tumatakbo kayo from one room to another, the president will make a decision.
On the fly,
So meron ganon talaga. And sometimes those decisions are very important. So iba rin pala at the top level.
So what's something the public doesn't realize about the pressure of being a government spokesperson?
Well, I wasn't officially a spokesperson. The president would speak for himself. I spoke for government.
Hanggang ngayon naman, he would speak for himself, eh.
That is correct. That's
Naloko-loko
correct.
minsan,
Wala
eh.
siyang spokes. Oo. He didn't want to. Well, ayaw kasi ni
Ayaw niya ng spokes, ginagaya niya yung tatay niya na si Marcos Sr. pero hindi niya naman kaya. Yun ang problema kay Marcos Jr. Pinipilit niyang gayahin yung tatay. Ba't di niya gayahin yung mga magagandang ginawa? Ngayon, ang nangyayari, parang imbis na gayahin yung mga magaganda, ang ginagaya ni Marcos Jr. yung puro pangit. Tapos ginagawa niyang upgraded version. Pagdating sa pagiging diktadura, pagdedeklara ng martial law. Dito matindi ho mga kababayan, walang batas militar pero yung galawan parang ganun. Mantakin niyo walang search warrant, papasukin ng bahay. Kasi hindi na daw necessary, sabi ng mga naghahanap kay Sen Bato, pinagpupuntahan yung mga malalapit kay Sen Bato. Anak ng Pedrang Garabata, mga siraulo.
presidente, he didn't want to have anybody speak for him. Siya yung magsasalita. What we would do is we would brief the media about decisions that were made, what happens in cabinet meetings, policies, both those that are in the works and final decisions.
Lalay,
mga ganon.
no?
So we would speak about the official matters while the president would speak for himself, for his personal thoughts, feelings, ganon, and as well as for the office of the president. He preferred it that way.
Well, did you think that was wise? Or I mean, when you went into government, that was the apogee o yung pinakamataas
Yes,
na level ng political capital and public approval ni Pangulong Marcos Jr.
It was.
And then right now, well, it's not an opinion, it is a fact na below sea level ang approval rating niya, negative 15.
Nasa negative,
as
yes.
per latest survey. What do you think went wrong between that time that you were there at ngayon na papunta na sa tail end ng kanyang administrasyon?
I think the president has not been
Ang ganda ng ano, ang ganda setup ng programa nitong si Atty. Ferdito Pasio na to. Hindi na siya nagpapaliwanag, kumbaga mga eksperto pinapatawag tapos nagsasalita. Tinatanong nitong si Atty. Siyempre, bugado yan, magaling magtanong niya. Kaya malulupit yung mga tanong nitong si Atty. Ferdy. Pagka naman medyo naiinip na tayo, ibinaling na dun sa ating maganda, ayun. Medyo ika nga mabubuhayan yung ating mga kababayan.
getting good advice, mostly. Also, nag-iba yung tempo eh. When we were there, everything was structured. You had a schedule, you have all of these. And very few decisions were made, like I was saying, while you're running from one room to the other. But it does happen, but I think it happens more often now that some decisions are made not for the public interest, but for face value, for projection, for political gain rather than actual public gain, anything not really for the public good. So I think that's what changed. Probably the priorities changed. So nung umpisa kasi, di ba, when you're first in Malacanang, you go there with very good intentions. You really want to do something good. You want to redeem yourself, redeem your family. There's a redemption arc that we believe was successful after the elections. And then I think that at some point, redemption no longer became the driving force. So that's
Sadly,
what changed.
Pera na, maleta na yung naging driving force. Ngayon, yung nagligaw doon sa driving force, siya naman ho ngayon ang pinipilit nilang itago. Ano pa bang meron pa bang magagawa si Marcos Jr. sa loob ng kulang-kulang 2 taon? Wala na ho. Kulang-kulang, malapit na siya magsone. Pagkatapos yung sone niya, 1 taon. Kulang-kulang 1 taon na lang, 2 taon. 27 na tayo. 26, 27, 22. Kulang-kulang 2 taon. Yari si Marcos Jr. dito.
Okay, so Attorney Trixie, did being inside
Diba? Pagka medyo naiinip na ho kayo, biglang lilitaw itong si ate girl.
on Malacanang change your perspectives on politics?
My perspectives on politics. Parang iba.
Nag-iba o parang iba?
Parang iba. Actually, like I said, decisions pala are made at top level in ways that we don't expect.
Yeah.
Because, for example, you're coming from a Duterte presidency where the president is a lawyer. And as a lawyer, he already knew yung basics behind it. When you make a decision, you don't have to brief him about, say, things like, Mr. President, the basis is the Constitution, Article so-and-so. President Duterte didn't need all that. And he could very well speak for himself. And I think to some degree, President Marcos thought that he could do the same thing, despite not being a lawyer and so.
Ayun lang.
But nung time namin kasi, we would limit. For example, he would be briefed about what he was to be asked and the things that he had to say. But we also kept it to a minimum because, there's also a danger. You heard the saying, you give him enough rope, he'll hang himself.
Oh, yeah.
So may
Did
ganon.
you think he did?
Not on my watch.
Well, I agree, actually. I agree. Oo.
Walang major controversy with him. There are instances where he would say things like, wait, I'm doing this wrong, and he would be, pero hindi ko siya i-correct. And then later on, sasabihin ko na lang, sir, next time I'll give you the briefer. So, kasi sometimes he would speak without a briefer so that presidents are different. President Duterte didn't need that kasi siya gumagawa ng desisyon. And before
Shot caller ho, si dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte. Di ko kagaya nito, nagpapaka-shot caller, di naman ho kaya. Naglalag tayo Anong nangyari? Converge! Hindi ko pala sa Converge sa mismong video to. For no.
ikaw bahala.
Sa video pala sa
Wala.
video.
Wala. No tough.
Wala.
Wala. No tough questions.
We had a honeymoon period.
Okay, I was going to that. Oo.
There were tough questions, yes, but not impossible to answer. Sometimes kasi the reporters will push it a little, no? Minsan maggagamit sila ng unproven antecedent. Parang di ba when we're lawyering,
Parang objection, Your Honor, no basis.
Correct.
It assumes
meron mga
facts which are
ganon.
not in evidence.
So, what if? So, there's one time they would ask questions like, what if ganito? Minsan, ang haba-haba ng what if. What if this? What if this? What if this? Okay lang if you have one variable, then you can answer. So, that's where we invent. I had to say, we don't respond to speculation.
Tama naman.
So,
Eh,
may
the most
mga
intelligent
ganon,
question, sino?
So,
Sa mga naabutan mo ron?
marami naman sila.
Okay,
Marami
okay.
naman
Care
sila.
to name a few?
No. I don't care.
Your lips are sealed.
Hindi naman sa ganun. Kasi baka nakalimutan ko yung mga pangalan nila. Mabibisto tayo. But I had a good relationship with Malacanang press corps at the time. And I wouldn't be lying to say na nung first few days na miss nila ako. They would
Okay.
say that sayang.
I'm sure.
Mga ganun
Sino
sila.
bang immediately na pumalit sa'yo?
Matagal eh.
Hindi pa naman si
It was almost
Auntie Claire,
a year.
di ba?
No, Cheloy Garafil.
Cheloy, of course. Good old
Si
Cheloy.
Attorney Claire is an undersecretary, so she's not really, she's not press secretary. She does do the palace press briefing.
Ang title yata niya is Palace Spokesperson, ano? Parang ganon. Something like that.
Minsan nagbabago eh. Kasi pag tinitingnan mo, I think it depends on which network is reporting. Minsan,
Trixie, you've gone through intense criticism throughout your career. So how do you protect your peace mentally and emotionally?
I don't pay any attention to the negative
Queen
stuff.
energy.
Well, hindi. Kasi most of the time, the negative stuff, they're superficial. Sasabihin, ano yung mga pinaka-common sa social media, di ba? Ano yan? Bayad ka, DDS ka, ganyan.
O mga expletives, yung mga GAGO, BOBO, mga ganon.
So, yung mga ganon, it's not common. It's really, nothing that you should pay any attention to. Pero I do pay attention to the ones that have a backing to it. For example, kung nagkamali ako, like I made a narration, tapos mayroong factually mali doon, I will accept that and I will apologize and correct. That way, wala kang bakit
Correct.
sasama ang loob mo? Nagkamali ka naman talaga. So it's easier to meet these things head on. As for the rest of it, minsan, ito si Attorney Tomas Botapasio, magaling siya sa mga ganyan eh. Sometimes you answer them with devastating wit. So, kasi idol ko to si Attorney Tomasio sa social media eh. When you crush them, you leave nothing.
Anyway, speaking of crush, tayo, sanay na tayo eh. Kumbaga sa kwan, balat kalabaw na tayo.
That's true.
Hindi na nga pwedeng gawing balbakwa yung ating balat eh.
Wala na.
Anyway,
Sayang.
pero for the average Filipino na nagiging subjected to yung mga online bashing, bullying, di ba?
Yes,
Etc. Anong advice mo on how to handle these things? Kasi to some, it goes to the extent na nagiging mental health problem na eh.
That's true.
Lalo na sa
Ano advice mo? What secrets would you share para hindi sila maapektuhan?
Do you remember some years ago, there's this kid who was going to go into the MRT or LRT, tapos sinesearch yata siya. And then, hindi siya pinayagan ng guard. Do you remember this?
Ay, yung
And then
Amalayer
she
ba
said,
yun?
Yes.
Naging kaibigan ko yun, ha? Yung babaeng
I felt so bad for her because the bashing was universal. But I thought that she made sense. But she talked about it and she said that there was a time she considered self-destruction. And, dun ko na-realize that, sometimes even the crowd will get it wrong. The mob will get it wrong. So, what other people say about you, my advice would be, what other people say about you doesn't define you.
Yes.
That's not who you are. Or if you feel that there's some truth to what they're saying, it also, as long as you're alive, you can change. You can address it.
Correct.
How you address it, that's what's going to define you. So you don't have to get upset. You don't have to kumbaga, succumb Because that's exactly what your critics want you to do,
Sabi
di
ng
ba?
professor ko, we will not succumb to chows.
Although tama
Totoong
siya.
story yun. Professor ko yun, we will not succumb to chows.
Buti na lang nagkaintindihan.
chaos pala.
So, Attorney Trixie, a lot of young Filipinos are watching us today. And alam ko, ang daming kabataang Pilipino na talagang sinusubaybayan ka.
Oo.
So, di ba? So, my question would be...
Truthfully,
True. How can young people remain authentic online while also protecting themselves from misinformation, misinterpretation, and public backlash?
Pagka sumagot ka dito kay ate, dapat merong NI. Thank you.
Well, no. Ngayon kasi,
Hindi, good vibes lang si ate. Good vibes lang yan. Good vibes yan.
as
Idol,
we were,
idol yan. Idol.
when we first started sa political blogging, emotions were enough.
Right.
You would say what you feel. Sasabihin na, for example, I feel that this president didn't do this, and this. And that you feel that the country is heading this way. And it's perfectly acceptable to talk about your feelings. Feelings are neither right or wrong, di ba? But when you start talking about so-called facts, you have to be careful. But hanggang doon lang yung sasabihin ko, hindi ko sasabihin na you stop talking because you're afraid of making a mistake. For example, there's some things that are still in contention. For example, if a person is accused of a crime, we can't say that that person actually committed it. An accusation does not equal a fact. So, yung mga ganyan, I think this is where social media starts to take a turn. This is the learning period. Na nung una, Wild Wild West tayo, di ba? People could say anything. And it was accepted. Even among us, di ba? It was accepted. Kahit anong sabihin mo, tama o mali, masakit o hindi, you could say it. And for me, I welcome it. There has to be a space for these things. And nobody will be looking over your shoulder and saying, oy, mali yan, oy, you're dramatic, oy ka, or things like that. They will say that anyway, and then to your face in social media, tatag ka pa. Tapos, pero, and that's what I like. But now, with the increasing repercussions, I can't say na mali rin, there are some repercussions that are not acceptable. So for example, libelous statements, you can't get a reputation back. You can't scotch tape that together. So there has to be some kind of legal repercussions. The problem with social media is that there is yung implementation or execution of the laws are very spotty because of the presence of anonymous writers, posters, netizens who don't use their real names. So those who have access to law enforcement, sila yung nakakapagkaso. Pero ordinary people who feel aggrieved, they don't feel empowered enough to address it. So, yun yung, these are the different things that we must contend with. So, when I feel bad kasi yung those who are coming into social media at this time, it's a time of flux. Nagbabago ang lahat. And the things that we could do before, you can't do anymore now. Yung universal bashing ni Miss Aymalaya, forgot her name, I'm sorry.
Going to that, Trixie. How do you feel about that proposal to pass a law, aside from yung existing libel, cyber libel, chuchu, regulating social media? Are you for that or against that?
Regulating is a really bad word
Yun
when
nga,
we're talking about free speech.
pinload yung NBI na director na ang asawa niya kasi congresswoman. So when it
she
comes
got
from him,
bashed,
there's a very real possibility that it would at least reach the floor debate. So how do you feel about that?
Well, there's always the Supreme Court and a challenge to its constitutionality. Pero ako, mas gusto ko yung to enlighten people because when you reach a certain level in government, tapos yun lang, like, ang dami kasing dynasties ang dami dyan who are in government, who have been in government most of their lives, and in many instances were sheltered from all of these negative comments. Yung nare-real talk sila online suddenly, and they want to control it. So what we want to do is, sit them down and say, wait, the world doesn't revolve around you. Hindi lang kayo yung nasasaktan dito. But we need a space that is much more liberal in allowing free speech, in allowing speech even those that are hurtful, even those that are untrue, they have their space. For example, fiction. How are you going to call that fake
Yes,
news?
yes.
Diba? And of course, Galileo. Diba? The things that are constantly changing, how do you regulate news? How can you say something is new when, or something is true when a week later, suddenly it's not true. You can say, for example, Attorney Topacio is single and then tomorrow hindi na. Diba? Pwedeng ganun eh. So, how can you talk about regulation?
Yeah, ako naman, I'm always double sized.
I realize that. Pero small talk pa rin ito. So, ang point dito is that it can't be a knee-jerk reaction. We have to think about it, talk about it. And maybe, if you leave social media alone, it will regulate itself.
Maaari, oh yes.
Because that's what's
definitely.
happening now. Once you introduce a new value, halimbawa, yung value ngayon is fake news. Diba? Bawal yung fake news. But it evades definition, so that should be addressed by the law. Hintayin natin, baka naman yung mga netizens, habang tumatagal, natututo.
Yun. Very good. Very well said.
Ngayon na nga mga kababayan, napakahusay ng programa na to ni Attorney Ferdy Topacio. Kung sino mapanood yung kabuuan ng video na yan, nasa SMNI Digital ho yan. Nasa ano na ho tayo, 27-minute mark ng video na itong si Attorney Ferdy Topacio. Mega love shoutout dito kay Attorney Ferdy. Ano ho natin yan, higa nga isa sa mga kapanalig at talagang todo suporta ho tayo dito sa PH Update dyan sa mama na yan. Isa ho sa mga tumatayo para sa mga kababayan natin ngayong mga panahon na to. Wala na yung Yes Topacio, meron na ho siyang bagong programa ngayon. Mas malupit at talaga ng mga, ito pilot episode kaya kahit pa paano medyo ano pa tayo dyan. Medyo kalma pa. Next episode, doon na yung balagbag, yung tipong yung tawa nitong si Attorney Ferdy Topacio na namiss natin, maririnig natin ulit. Maraming salamat po mga kababayan, mag-ingat po kayo lahat. Mahal natin ang Pilipinas. Saludo, Attorney Ferdy Topacio.